Hey, Beyond the Gators. I got two episodes to talk about, although I'm mostly going to talk about today's episode. But yeah, I didn't talk about Friday's episode. It wasn't my favorite episode. And I'm going to try and make this short and sweet because I am tired with Big Brother back watching the live feeds and all. And I still got a workout to do. Yeah. But let's circle back to Friday's episode. Two of those stories continued onto today's episode, which I will get to. But the first thing I want to talk about is Jacob and Kat again having scenes last Friday. As much as this show likes to put stories on the back burner for sometimes weeks at a time, like we will get to with this articulate story, I need Kat and Jacob and their scenes together put way back in the back burner. I would love to never see them have scenes together again, to be honest. I am so sick of their redundant scenes where Kat is bothering Jacob about his case. Yeah, I can't do it much longer. Kat is, while she can be insufferable many times, she is definitely most insufferable when it comes to scenes with Jacob discussing the damn case against Leslie. Also, Friday's episode, the articulate story. I don't think I like it anymore. I'm not invested. It's been gone for weeks. I still do like Sharon. I know a lot of people are more on Anita's side I've seen online because, well, they're just jealous of Anita. Whatever. I still like Sharon. But the problem with the articulate story is that it's been the same thing over and over and over now. Someone's going to call off the concert. Someone's going to call off the concert. I don't care. Shout out Kaiwan in the chat. Kat is ridiculous with that damn story with Jacob. And the articulate story is also redundant because they all just want to call off the concert. I can't invest in that. I want to move beyond that. We've seen this like 4 or 5 different times already with that one story. Either Sharon's going to call off the concert or she doesn't want to do the concert. No, Anita's going to call off the concert. No, she's not. They're actually going to go and, try and get ready for the concert. And now they're getting ready for the concert and they all want to call it off again. Enough. Anyway, I did still enjoy. I actually want to discuss Allison first and the whole. She's going psycho on Chelsea and Madison and having their date. They were on their date on Friday. They saw that Allison was there. Chelsea accused Allison of following her. Today, they followed up on that story where Allison tried to play it off like she wasn't doing that, despite talking about a time when her and Chelsea were just making love and it was just this whole ordeal. And Chelsea said that Allison was basically lying or just overdoing it, which I think was true. The only thing I do wish with this story is that we actually got to see more interactions with Allison and Chelsea before it's come to this. But whatever. I'm still enjoying kind of seeing Allison go stalkerish on Chelsea. And after they got Allison to go away for a while and continue their date today, Allison came back just to once again interrupt their date and talk about sex with Chelsea. Chelsea must have laid it down on Allison because she is hooked on wanting to get Chelsea back and can only talk about the sex they had together because that's all they really had together, even though Chelsea was falling hard at the time. Now she's trying to move on with Madison, and now it's Allison that can't seem to get over Chelsea. But I have liked this turn in the story with Allison slowly moving into being a psycho. Don't worry, Kaiwan, you didn't miss much on Friday's episode. Today was a much better follow-up than Friday to me. Now on to this Kenny story. Friday's episode ended with Martin seeing Kenny and Samantha together and Samantha doing something for Kenny on a phone. They followed up on that today, and they are rising the creep factor on this Kenny character. I mean, they've already made him bigoted, and now he's messing with Martin's children who are just teenagers. And so I guess they're really pushing us to hate Kenny as we should. What I do like about the story, though, is that Martin is still not innocent at all within the story. She just continues to lie to his family. He won't tell them the truth. It is becoming more frustrating. Like Martin, the secret just needs to be revealed. And I think it will be this week. That's what somebody said online. So I try not to read spoilers. I try to avoid them as much as I can. But allegedly, whatever Martin finally did will be revealed. But I don't know if that means that we're just going to see flashbacks of Martin's, or if Smitty will finally find out the truth. I hope that is the case. I want to get into the next phase of this Martin story now. As much as I have liked the buildup, and I have liked so many characters being brought into the story, it's become quite the umbrella storyline. An issue I'm starting to have, and it's what I talked about last week that could happen, is that a lot of the people involved in the story are looking a little too inept for my liking. If Bill is supposed to be the fixer, he's not looking like the fixer, because we already have the prior thing of Leslie coming back into town. He didn't fix that issue. And now he's struggling to fix this stupid hick. I don't know. Both Bill and Joey kind of failing in that story. Don't love it. So it is starting to be a little too dragged out this week. I would like to see the end of Kenny one way or another by next week. Anything beyond that, the characters are going to look worse. They're going to look so inept at the supposed villains that Bill and Joey are supposed to be. So they're running into an issue with that. I've been complaining since the show began that Smitty needs more of a backbone. And I felt like we were kind of getting there today with almost an ultimatum, but he's not going to completely go there. Smitty's always going to fall back into being a bit of a pushover, at least when it comes to Martin. I like that Smitty is continuing his whole investigation no matter what, but I wish he was more headstrong when it came to his relationship with Martin and Martin always walking over him. Kaiwan in the chat says, yes, Smitty to me is very weak. Everybody in the family listens to Martin and he rules it with an iron fist. Yeah. And clearly that's not working for Martin's family here. So I would love to see Smitty take more charge, especially when his own family is being put in this predicament. Thanks to Martin, it's getting to a point now where it's something's gonna have to give for them. Also today, though, I always enjoy the Bill and Vernon scenes. They're some of my favorite scenes on the show when these two get together and either subtly threaten each other or aggressively threaten each other. I'm always for the Vernon and Bill scenes today. And I also like Bill every time Bill calls Vernon out on his shit. When Vernon is acting like, oh my God, you can't kill Kenny. That's where I draw the line. And Bill pretty much saying that Vernon's just playing dumb, and Vernon knows how Bill has to handle an issue if it comes to a last resort and all the other options are running out. So I was more on Bill's side today, but that's not surprising. I usually, Vernon and Anita, they can get on my nerves. One thing about Bill though, like he's recovered from that stroke like that. Like I'm confused why they did the stroke story in the first place. I was confused when it was happening because Bill having health issues just doesn't fit the character of Bill right now. Like we're still new to the soap opera. It's only been on for a few months. So already trying to weaken Bill was odd to me in the first place. But now it's like the stroke hasn't even happened. He's just going toe to toe with Vernon. I thought they were going to yell and something was going to happen to Bill from before his health issues. That's what I thought where they were going today, but they didn't. Seems like the stroke issues, Shanice is a miracle worker. So, Derek might be in good hands where Shanice is concerned. Speaking of Derek, though, I actually, for the first time, enjoyed some Ashley scenes without her being a nurse. The only time I find Ashley like just palpable in general is when she's just doing her job as a nurse. But I did enjoy her calling Hayley out on some of her bullshit today, with Hayley having cravings in her first trimester. Um, Ashley pushing if this whole pregnancy was planned. It was good to see Ashley give it to a character that's equally as annoying as hers. I think that's why it kind of worked, is that Hayley as a character kind of sucks too. So Ashley was actually able to go toe to toe with someone for once and it didn't suck. So that was nice. It's the first time, maybe ever, that I could actually compliment the Ashley character. So that's certainly a positive for today's episode. But yeah, I found today's episode pretty good overall. I have my complaints, but a lot of those complaints were with Friday's episode. I'm not looking forward to articulate stories this week. I'm really not. That story's kind of, they put it on the back burner for too long. And then when they bring it back, it's just the same redundancy we've already seen. Yeah, no. And this, more importantly, hopefully there's no Cat and Jacob scenes this week. Can't handle any more of those. But also, I'm really hoping that this Martin storyline moves in some really good direction, and that Kenny can be taken out before characters like Bill and Joey look bad. If they're supposed to be our big bad villains, they need to get the best of Kenny sooner rather than later.